Okay, so today I want to show you how to make a third fold card, which is this one. It just opens up like that. It's very simple to make, so let's get started. Right, so to start with, you need a piece of card that is 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. I have done the 9 by 9 version, which gives you a 6 by 6 card, but the thing is that you end up with offcuts if you do 9 by 9, whereas with 8 1/4 by 8 1/4 you can use a sheet of A4 paper, which is easier. So put your card on the scorer, and you want to score at 2 3/4, and then make a mark at 5 1/2. Then you want to turn your card, well, on my scoreboard it will be anti-clockwise, and you're going to score again at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. But because of the way that my score works, I'm actually scoring at 6 1/2, and then I'm going to make a mark at 3 1/4. But it's the same thing. It's still 2 3/4 in from this edge, and then 5 1/2 in from that edge. Okay. So you end up with a line going that way and a line going that way, and it should be that way round. So you've got the square in the top left-hand corner. Then you want to move your scoreboard out of the way. Grab yourself a cork board and a ruler, and then you're going to score from the 5 1/2 mark to the other 5 1/2 mark, and it should, if you've scored correctly, it will go across that middle bit there, intersection. So we're going to score from here to here. Oh, no, across the middle. From there. Let me just check my measurements because this is not working. That should be right. Five and a half, which is there. Just going to mark it on with a pencil just to make absolutely sure. So this one here I did wrong. Okay, so there we go. So when I connect up those two marks, it goes through that middle piece there. So you end up with that. Now excuse the scribble, because this did say not on the, it did give the dimensions for a 9 by 9, but now it's got the dimensions for an 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. So that's what you're looking at. That's your first two scores, and then that's your joining your two 5 1/2 marks up. So then what we want to do is we're going to fold the straight lines, not the diagonal, the straight ones. We're going to fold those in. Give them a really good burnish. Open it up and do the same on the other side. Like that. And then the diagonal wants to fold the other way. So you're going to fold it outwards. So you end up with that. And then if you just pop the middle there, the whole thing should then come in. And that's basically your card. Now don't worry about the mark there, because we're going to be covering it up with paper. Just give it a bit of a burnish again. Right, so next you want some squares of pattern paper. You want a matte layer, which is this one. You want 4 squares, which are 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. And then you want a top matte layer, which is a pattern. Now I've gone for 2 different patterns, so they need to be 2 1/4 inches by 2 1/4 inches. So you end up with those. Okay, so I'm going to stick those down now. And also you can use wet glue, or you can use tape, whatever you want. I'm just using wet glue because it's easier. You haven't got to sit and watch me peel the backing off tape. It's a super easy card, and it's nice and quick to do as well. It's just really making sure you get those score lines in the right places. That's probably the hardest bit. And since you've only got what, 3 score lines, it's not so bad. That's those 2 done. Now we need to do these 2. There we go. And then you want to decide where you want to place them on your card. So I am going to do, I think I'm going to do the, no, I think I'm going to do them here. I usually go opposite corners just because it balances it out. And there, and there, like that. And then I've just cut out a little sentiment. I cut it out in white and just coloured it in with pro markers or alcohol markers. Actually, for these, I actually used the new Nova designer markers, alcohol based, and I used this this reddish colour here. Yeah, they're really good for things like that. And then I just cut the outside out, and then we're just going to glue that on. I can't pick anything up today for some reason. Keep sliding everything off the mat. So there we go. So that's going to go on. So I'm going to stick that up in the top corner. So I'm going to stick these on now. And they're just slightly smaller than your panels, which means that you end up with a nice white border around the outside, which is what we want. Stick that into that section there. You have to press the card flat in order to make sure you know that the square is in the right place. There we go. Push this one down. Like that. And then all we need to do now is stick our greeting down. So for that I'm going to use the Dovecraft Ultimate Craft Glue, because I find it's very good for this sort of thing. And I'm also going to use a cocktail stick just to put it on the back. So I'm going to flip this over. My fingers are not working today. Right, so I'm going to take the top off. Get the cocktail stick, just coat it with a bit of glue, grab the greeting and just dib, I'm just kind of bouncing the cocktail stick off the greeting, so then it just gets a bit of glue in the right places. Like that. And also then you don't end up with too much glue. Just had my cats just come back in again, so I could end up with lots of meowing at the door in a minute. Right, there we go. Oops. And then we're going to stick that down onto the top of the greeting. And then all you need to do all that's left to do, I can't get my words out today, is use some foam pads and stick it onto the card. And that is really how easy this card is. I like it because it's a bit different, it looks different, it's 3D, it kind of pops, but it's super easy to make. I mean, that's literally taken me, oh, not very long at all. So, there we go, get my card, and stick it in the top corner. There you go, card done. If you want to add extra bits you can, extra bling, if you want to put a flower here you could. You could also put some more squares in here if you wanted to really go for it. If not, there's your card done. So hopefully you'll have a go. If you head over to the Trimcraft website, thecraftblog.com, I think it's .com, not .co.uk. Anyway, if you put craftblog into Google, it'll come up. In fact, it'll tell me on here. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, anyway, craftblog.com I think it is. Head over to there and go into the forum, and there is a section called Craft Challenges, and on the Craft Challenge, this month's Craft Challenge is the third fold card, which is this one. So head over there, have a go, enter, and there's a small prize at the end of February for the winner. So get your entries uploaded, and we'll hopefully see you over there. Great.